Mr. Chairman, thank you for your time today. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, Max. Anytime.
We're sitting here in Mikey Sherrill's campaign headquarters in the belly of the beast in Essex County
Yeah.
in Bloomfield. So I'd like to start, if I could, by asking you about something the president said at the beginning of the week in an address to our nation's military. He said that he would like to uh, use the military to train in America's cities. Well, we're at the core of an urban corridor here. What's your reaction to that?
This is obviously typical from a president that just has no humanity in his DNA. It is obviously very racist and discriminatory. It just continues to show his insensitivity to communities of color, particularly Black and Brown communities, and it ultimately violates the sanctity of just human culture. He is attempting to create an air of martial law in selected places throughout America. And this election is proof positive of the firewall that New Jersey needs to throw up to protect its cities and maintain our own our perfect humanity or near perfect humanity, and keep it away from the torturous approaches that he often unleashes on communities. He's done that in Portland, Oregon. He's done it in Los Angeles, California. He's focused on Chicago, Memphis, Tennessee. And if Jack Ciattarelli becomes governor here, he will never stand in the way of Trump's awkward mission, and places like Newark and Patterson, Camden, perhaps East Orange and Irvington, could be targeted in the same fashion that those other communities have been.
Mr. Chairman, do you see Jack Ciattarelli's budget priorities in a different way, but also targeting the cities in an unfair way, in the sense that he wants to overhaul Abbott and Abbott schools funding as part of his school funding formula reform? Do you see this as a wake up call to voters here, or do you think there are voters who want vouchers and want charter choice and maybe another way of educating their kids?
Look, there are parents here that have charter choice. They've exercised that for their children. But I think there still needs to be a concentration on building our public schools. Particularly the schools that have challenges like in the urban centers. There is an imbalance between education in suburban communities versus urban communities. It should be one platform of curriculum that allows for equal opportunities wherever you live, no matter what your zip code is.
More news coming out of the federal government this week with the shutdown and a direct impact on New Jersey with jobs temporarily furloughed, but conceivably permanent. That's what the president said. Also funding for key projects like Gateway. How is New Jersey combating this potential loss, and what do you see in terms of the impact on this political atmosphere?
Yeah, look, we have an aggressive, approach that's coming with our congressional delegation. Booker and Kim have been extremely boisterous, as has been those individuals that represent the Democratic Party in our delegation. Again, those Republicans, those three Republicans that are part of the delegation, continue to be silent on the issue. And that's part and parcel of the problem with Trump. Nobody on their side wants to stand up. but that is going to have a very detrimental impact on our labor unions. These are individuals that sometimes flirted with the Trump support. They should see clear that with this shutdown and him halting and suspending the Gateway Tunnel is going to hurt families, and their families in particular. So this is part and parcel of fighting against the ill winds that that have become consistently clear, blowing the wrong way out of Washington into New Jersey, and we're going to need a fighter that stands up, and is going to stand up with our partners in New York State, to do what they can, to fight against these really detrimental positions that the federal government, particularly the Trump administration, has taken and is impacting New Jersey and the region in a very negative and dangerous way. It's hurting families.
Mr. Chairman, we have a little over a month to go in this election cycle. Where do you see the contest right now? Where do you see your candidate, Democratic nominee for governor, Mikey Sherrill, successfully making the case to voters?
Well, look, she's out there, every day, from the crack of dawn, the clock strikes 12 at midnight. She's talking to groups up and down the state, all ethnic groups, social groups, individuals, from various incomes and levels, and she's making her case. There's criticism that she concentrates too heavily, on being a helicopter pilot. But when you sit down and you understand what that means, it's not just a non-traditional thing for a woman, but what it is how you show discipline, how discipline has become part of your DNA, and how you lead from the discipline that you acquire in the military, and how you work with others in that capacity, and that gives you the criteria, and the skill set to be able to work across the board with so many different people. So, she's talking about affordability. She's talking about how we protect our democracy. She's looking at, individuals from all walks in life, from all ethnic backgrounds, whether they be Black, African American, Latinos, women, white men, Black men, and that's been a concentration in this particular election. She's talking to faith-based leaders. So, she is on the ground and ready to go. And I'm on the ground in every aspect with her. I'm sitting here with, my baseball hat, my track, my warm-up pants on, and, my warm-up jacket. That's my fatigues for this election. I'm on the ground. I'm on the ground with Mikey, and we're going to push this thing through all the way through till the polls close on November 4th.
You mentioned her discipline, and I can't help but look at the sitting president who demeaned or tried to demean the late John McCain, a man who was shot down over Vietnam, tortured, and called into question his military service. He is quoted in a news article as saying that those who landed in France in World War II were suckers and losers, the ones who were buried over there. And now his National Archives releasing unredacted private information on Mikey Sherrill, trying to call into question her integrity. Do you see a pattern here?
Absolutely. It's funny because Chitterelli has taken that same playbook. Here's a guy that's never even put on a uniform in his life, and he's going to attempt to criticize an individual who has served in the military, served honorably, has been promoted several times, nearly 10-year veteran in the United States Navy. and trying to discredit somebody who served this country, and a person that's not even been able to put on a uniform, to put himself in a service position. I think that's hypocritical, and it's right out of the Trump playbook. Not much different than as you just described, as Trump would try to denigrate the late John McCain, for his service to our country, and particularly a POW.
I think any patriotic American would look at Mikey Sherrill's service and feel a sense of pride.
Mm-hmm.
But what about those who say, with all respect to that service, she's not talking enough about the issues crippling New Jersey on the affordability front, or in a way that's specific enough, Mr. Chairman? And she has talked about creating an energy emergency on day one and freezing utility costs. But in terms of addressing where people live on the property tax front, where do you see her making the case that you believe people listening to that message will understand?
Look, I debunk that because if you see her on the stump, if you see her, in large forums, where she has the opportunity to, drill down, specifically. Perhaps they talk about, the commercials that, that may, talk at a, in a more summary sized way. And it becomes difficult to get, specificity in a 30-second commercial. But, I beg to differ, when anybody pledges that criticism, because, I listen to her, and people listen to her when she's on the stump, when she's at somebody's doorstep, when she's at a forum, when she's, before, an audience, whether it, would be an audience of teachers or, labor leaders or what have you. The specificity is there, and you have an opportunity to, have an exchange, with, those various audiences, and I think they walk away understanding that, yes, this is a person that, has a plan, that understands our plight, that, seeks, corrective measures.
We're also living in a time, though, aren't we, where a leader's temperament is particularly important. When we look at the volatility coming from the White House, when we look at the indiscipline and the personal agenda of this president looking to target his political enemies and policy deriving almost exclusively from his consistent targeting of political enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't Mikey Sherrill's background and the discipline she exhibited personally and professionally play a particularly critical role in these times when people crave stability?
Mm-hmm. She, look, she's possessed that, that quality, and shows it on a day-to-day basis. So, she's a mom of four, and has been a prosecutor, and obviously served in the military, and her service in Congress, is another element of a developed skill set and a foundation, for purpose. She's a family person. She understands, families. Her and as I mentioned, her and her husband has, raised four children. They've been faithful to each other, and that's something that certainly laudable. I would ask Jack Ciattarelli, where is he on those points that I just raised?
Unprecedented election for us because the machines are playing a different role, still relevant, but certainly different in these times. Can you talk about, you've been through many campaigns, how is this one different in terms of how the candidacy of the statewide candidate connects to the organizational priorities of the party?
So, we just came through, a protracted Democratic primary, where, six different candidates, vying for the opportunity to be the Democratic nominee. Through that process, I think, Mikey and others, the other, candidates learned each other. They learned more about New Jersey that way because they exchanged ideas. They talked about their democratic values. Um, and I think in that particular case, and Mikey was obviously the winner, but out of that, she came out of it more prepared, more knowledgeable, more focused on, the priorities of New Jersey as opposed to perhaps how she saw it, at the very beginning of, that contest. So, moving into, a general election environment, she becomes, a much more equipped, perhaps better, prepared to relate to, the different, facets of, the Democratic Party, whether you be, a progressive or moderate, or a little more fiscally conservative Democrat. And I think she embraces, the complete package because she has, an agenda, that pretty much encompasses, all those individuals. So there became the uniqueness as we moved into, the general election environment, and now being able to galvanize, pieces of the components that didn't exist for her in the primary, but now consolidating those, in a general election is it's a testimony to her and, and the individuals that were also running because they've all bought into, how, critical this election is. They've all lent, their agendas, to hers to bolster a, more comprehensive agenda for New Jersey. And, I think that is going to give us, a tremendous edge as, we step forward, closer to November 4th.
We'll talk again, no doubt, I hope,
Yeah,
before it's all
of
over.
course. Of course.
Last question. What do you want voters to remember going into this election when they look at these two candidates and they're seeking to make up their minds?
I want you to remember, that, Mikey stands, for justice, stands for freedom, stands for, affordability, stands for, fairness across the board, stands for equity. She is, going to, be, a firewall when she has to be a firewall, when things, are not coming into New Jersey from the nation's capital the right way. She's going to stand tall, and stand on principle and convictions, as opposed to a candidate, specifically Jack Ciattarelli, who, just can't find anything that he disagrees with on Donald Trump, who talks the talk, but, has to check in with, his, his handler before he makes a decision. And, so out of that is, something that's simply, unique in one candidate and not exist in another, and that's independence.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time today.
Okay.